Despite a number of bills, billions in grant dollars, and plenty of rhetoric, broadband internet access in rural parts of Indiana and the country lags behind suburban and urban areas. Traditional carriers providing internet to most Hoosiers say it's expensive to serve rural areas. That's because residents are more spread out and the terrain makes building the necessary infrastructure more expensive. As Brock Turner reports, the lack of broadband is causing rural Indiana to fall behind.
David Phelps is a lifelong Brown County resident. To say he knows this area would be an understatement.
Other than college and maybe a year or so out of college, I've always lived here.
The South Central Indiana County is defined by rolling hills, quaint shops, and picturesque fall landscapes. Phelps says it's what's kept him here for so long.
I live on 5 acres right now, and it's nice to have wooded area behind me and space for our dogs to run and space for my kids to be able to play.
But the rural setting does come with some drawbacks. It makes getting reliable, high-speed internet challenging. And it's not just an issue Phelps experiences firsthand. He's also the director of technology for the Brown County School District, where he talks to parents and students who are also frustrated. He estimates half of all students in the district do not have a reliable internet connection in their homes. While the district equips each student with a laptop, that doesn't necessarily mean they have the access to technology they need.
Just within the past 2 weeks, I've had a couple parents contact or a student that's contacted saying, I don't have access at home, so I need to make sure that I can do this here. Can you show me how to download a video so I can view it while I'm at home?
According to Broadband Now, a for-profit data company that measures internet access across the country, just over a third of Brown County residents have access to broadband internet. But that isn't the only place that's suffering. According to the group, 20% of Hoosiers only have access to service with one provider. They say there is a lack of competition across the state, and that hurts consumers.
Any private company, it's basically their job to secure their market position and make as much money as possible. And so long as internet is treated as sort of a luxury rather than like a utility, it sucks, and it's certainly not how I would like things to be.
While rural areas of the state continue to struggle accessing broadband internet, one REMC in South Central Indiana is changing that.
South Central Indiana Rural Electric Membership Coalition began bringing service to its 7-county region in the 1930s. Traditional electric providers didn't want to serve rural areas of the state because they couldn't make a profit. Now, SCI is adding broadband to its list of services. The entire REMC's area will have high-speed internet by 2021.
So many folks don't have any kind of high speed. They don't even have cable or DSL in many cases in our area. So those folks are just ecstatic.
Tannenberger says he'll pay for the more than $80 million project by using existing savings, taking advantage of low-interest loans from the United States Department of Agriculture, and says SCI will be exploring other grant opportunities as they become available.
Despite trying, we haven't been able to get any grants or anything yet. So although there's a lot of talk out there, the actual funding that's making it to these projects is very little.
According to State Representative Matt Pierce, that became clear during this year's legislative session. Many lawmakers praised Indiana House Bill 1065, which provided incentives for carriers to enter rural areas of the state. But Pierce, who voted for the bill, voiced his concerns in the session's final hour.
Programs have been created over and over again by the legislature, and they never fund them because, one, they're not serious about it, and two, the major carriers fear any new competition coming in. Otherwise, why would they have put a provision in the bill that says no out-of-state companies may apply for the grant?
Both Pierce and Zimmer say providers self-report the areas they serve. For small providers, the process is costly. But Zimmer says large providers often take advantage of the system that is rarely subject to oversight. He says providers often say they provide service to an area that in reality does not receive service.
It's all about territory building, so it's not really in their interest to cough up perfect information.
Authors of such legislation say the bills have to be written in that way to ensure people without any service are prioritized. They also say it is important to have established providers and not companies that will go out of business. Pierce, however, isn't convinced. He says he believes creative solutions should be taken.
But I think it's simple enough to say that internet is a necessity and that the legislature and the governor should do everything they can to make sure that every resident of our state has access to adequate broadband.
Phelps can relate. He says the frustration is enough to make his family consider picking up and moving.
I've never really been away from this place all that much, and a decision to move would be a very big one. Yeah.
At least for now, Phelps says he's staying put. For Indiana News Desk, I'm Brock Turner.